It's been over half a month since the abrogation of Article 370, but communication has not yet been restored in Jammu and Kashmir, and politicians continue to remain under preventive detention. State transport has not yet resumed, but the local administration maintains that the situation in the valley is peaceful and that there are no incidents of violence. Meanwhile, Union Home Ministry will hold a high-level meeting on Jammu and Kashmir, and the Union Home Secretary will chair the meeting. Now, my colleague Mir Fareed joins me live from Srinagar. Mir, what is the latest update from the ground in the valley?
Yes, Aarti, there is in many ways a kind of a status quo that exists in the state and especially if you talk about the Kashmir Valley. While the authorities almost every evening in their briefing say that things are absolutely under control, which they are. I mean, there has not been any major violence reported from any part of the Kashmir Valley. Restrictions, if you talk of Srinagar, have been almost completely lifted as far as movement of people is concerned. Traffic can be seen. Those shops are completely shut and public transport is off the roads, and that really is the situation day in, day out. What the people now are asking is that if for such a long time, I mean, it's been almost a month, as you rightly said, if things are peaceful, if they are under control, then how is it that communication is not being restored? Other services that the people deserve post this are not being restored. So that really is putting the authorities on the back foot, because there can't be an inherent contradiction in what they're saying. On one hand, if they say that things are under control, then obviously after 23 days there is a scope for communication curbs to be lifted, at least in a phased manner. As we had reported, landlines had started to work in certain areas, but it is like in pockets. They haven't restored landlines to everywhere. Talk of North Kashmir, South Kashmir, landlines are not working. In Srinagar, even where I am right now in the Lal Chowk area, which is the commercial hub, and in fact which also has most of the media establishments, local papers here also, the landlines are not working. So obviously the authorities, when they say that things are under control, people are cooperating, then obviously they'll have to ensure that people are benefited post how things have remained, and these services are restored. So that really is the big question mark, and needless to tell you that in today's day and age, internet is backbone of almost everything. Traders are suffering, entrepreneurs are suffering. Even for you to buy a ticket, you have to go to the airport, stand in long queues to move out to the Kashmir Valley and buy a ticket. So
Right.
those are basics, and needless to talk about the problems that people are facing because of no communication. That really has been the situation. But now, as I
Right.
said, it will be very difficult for the authorities to justify these restrictions since people are cooperating and there is peace. Aarti?
Right, Fareed. Now, the restrictions on 3G services continue in the valley, but is there any information on the status of separatists and mainstream politicians like Mehbooba Mufti and Omar Abdullah, who have been under house arrest since the start of this?
That's right, Aarti. In fact, our sources tell us that there has been some back-channel communication initiated with these leaders, the likes of Mehbooba Mufti, Umar Abdullah, where they have been told that they would be allowed to, the restrictions will be lifted, but they'll have to ensure and they'll have to commit on the fact that they will not give any statements or they will not provoke people, they will not do anything that would be detrimental to the law and order situation or that would lead to any escalation as far as law and order situation is concerned. They have been given certain terms and conditions on which they will be released. Now, as of now, there has been no forward movement on that. Probably it seems that they're still thinking, contemplating as to what their future course of action would be as far as these politicians are concerned. Most of them, in fact, all of them in many ways are under preventive detention. Top leaders, second string, even workers of political parties across the Kashmir Valley who were deemed as threat to law and order post the abrogation of 35A and 370 have been put behind bars. Though, let me add here, Aarti, that as far as common man is concerned, you will hardly find a person who has shed a tear for these politicians. Probably there is a feeling that these politicians were always a part of the problem problem rather than part of the solution. So people have no issues with these leaders being behind bars, but obviously you have a mainstream. You have to set the ball rolling sometime or the other to bring back normalcy, and these people could be crucial for that. So you have to fill that vacuum, and for that you need the mainstream politicians. So probably that is the thinking of the government, and that's why they're trying to engage them. But when will they be released is a big question. As of now, probably in the administration, they feel that status quo is the answer to the situation. They're still not very confident that if they allow these mainstream leaders, it all will remain well, and probably they feel that these leaders are a threat or would be a threat to the law and order situation. So their status remains where it is. But as far as separatists are concerned, there is absolutely no scope of them really coming out, though Mirwais Umar Farooq has been kept under house arrest, and probably we've been told that he is also assured that he will not come out with any kind of a statement that would lead to law and order trouble. So all these things are happening, but at the end of the day, Aarti, it is the common man who really is the first casualty. He remains the first casualty since there is no schooling for the kids. He's confined to his homes. There is no communication on day-to-day issues. He has to really face the brunt as far as routine things.
Right.
You talk of, as I said, talk of, in fact, billing. You talk of even DTH recharges. You talk
Right.
of tickets of airlines. All those have become a very difficult thing to really negotiate, and that is something that the authorities will now have to do something about, since peace is there. So they'll have to reciprocate and really lift these restrictions, at least as far as communication is concerned.
Right, Mir Farid, they're joining us with all those details from Srinagar. Thanks so much for bringing us those updates.